Welcome, everybody. Oh, go ahead, Will.
We are here. Hi. Now you can intro. It's great. We're here. Look, we're all so happy to be here today. We both want to jump in and just say, hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, I don't know about you, Will, but this is like my favorite part of the work week is when we get together and we get to go through all of the amazing updates that are happening across the ConnectWise community.
It's so exciting. I'm just, out here hanging out. I was telling the ducks behind me about all the awesome stuff that's happening at ConnectWise, and they were super excited. They quacked very, very loudly at me. So I'm assuming that is a quack of excitement. So
it's not very often that you get a live studio audience.
Right? Look, I mean, they're going to judge me on this one today. I'm pretty sure.
No.
Either that or they want bread. I haven't figured out which yet.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So give me the scoop. What have you been up to since the last time I saw you?
Oh my gosh, everything. So, between everything going on at ConnectWise, there's been a hurricane that recently happened. So I want to kind of dig into that real quick. If we have time. And, as everyone knows, there's a lot of people affected by the recent hurricane that came through. So, trying to just find, people to get back to in the theme of the Friday Field Report, I reached out to our good friend, Keith Nelson. And Keith gave me a list of charities that they have vetted for donations. So we'll post that in the chat here in a few minutes. And if you guys want to help out, definitely use one of those. There's still scams going around, so Keith has been able to kind of vet those and make sure that we're giving money to places that are going to be able to help.
Perfect. Well, that's good to hear. Anything personally going on? Of course, there was the hurricane that made its appearance in Tampa Bay. So we know that we had some colleagues and also some friends that were affected from the storm surge. Yeah. But are you okay? You're doing okay down there?
Yeah, we're good down here. It knocked over every single plant in my garden, so thankfully that's the worst that I had happen. Personally, we also had the Friday Field, or not Friday Field Report. That's today. Yesterday, we had the demystifying AI live stream, so many stream, and we actually had been trying to be head of AI and strategy development for Amazon Web Services as our guest.
Oh,
and it was an awesome episode. Yeah, we actually got a guy from Amazon who's, pretty big name to come talk to us, and he was awesome. So watch that episode if you haven't. It's great.
Okay.
What about you?
That's great.
What's new in the world of Vicky? How'd you guys fare?
Well, before the hurricane, I was in Seattle, Washington last week, getting the opportunity to meet with some of the Microsoft teams, and ConnectWise leadership came out to Redmond, Washington, and it was really neat to see the Microsoft campus firsthand and to kind of see all of the experiences they have there. They have the Azure Collaboration Center, which is a really interesting tour if you ever get the opportunity to go. They also have this really interesting this other center that is another tour that shows you how they're leveraging AI to help different industries, and so they've got segments within the cybersecurity, retail, car manufacturing, you name it. And it almost feels like a museum experience because you can go up and you can touch things and press buttons, and there's all sorts of really cool effects. And and then came home and evacuated to Alabama, but everything is okay here as well in Tallahassee. So some of the other stuff happening at IT Nation Wise Up, which is our IT Nation podcast, is we dropped 2 new episodes. So make sure that you listen into those. We've got Dean Trimpalis from Helped, who had some really great advice about, leveraging outsourcing, how to do that. We also had Henry Tim and Mark Menzies join us, who are the co-founders for Tech Degenerates. And they had some really great feedback about, being founders of an MSP, creating an MSP community. So that was really great content. Make sure that you check out those episodes.
Love it.
And as far as what's coming up, what do you have on the docket? What do you want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. So my AI friend Kyle Jackson and I are doing a webinar next week that I'm kind of excited about. We're going to be talking about AI and PSA, a perfect match. So we're going to be talking about ConnectWise Sidekick and what you can do with it. So it's going to be fun. We've got some fun stuff planned for it. We are not using a slide deck, if that tells you anything. So it should be a lot of fun for a webinar. We're living dangerously on this one. So if you want to come see, the potential for great disaster and hilarity, come join us on that one. It'll be good. What about you? What you got?
And the link is in the comments, so make sure that you check that out. Well, it's obviously October now, and that means it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So there's a lot of stuff coming out from ConnectWise that is here to educate and help inspire. So make sure that you're scanning this QR code. We promise we're not phishing you. This is a legit QR code, and there are some great sessions that you can tune into. Actually, one that's happening right now is with Tom Lawrence and Matt Topper, my co-host for IT Nation Wise Up, on let's see which one. Oh, it's not on here. But if you scan that QR code, you'll get the list. You can watch them on demand even after they've aired. The one that I'm really excited about next week that's happening is with Microsoft and ConnectWise on what are the best practices when it comes to maximizing ROI, especially when you're leveraging the Microsoft licensing and Microsoft platform. So make sure that you tune into all of these great things, and then you can always check out the Cyber Awareness Hub for more details, promos, all the great things leading into IT Nation Connect.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm super excited about all of those things. You got some great guests, and I know I'm going to be watching them. So yeah, everyone else should make sure they're going to watch them too. I mean, Tom Lawrence, Matt Topper, Microsoft, what's not to love, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I know we've got some amazing guests on the show today. We've got Bryce Roberts, who is the head of marketing at Axient in the green room. So let's bring him out. Oh. Hey, Bryce.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good, my friend. Right. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining from beautiful downtown Cary, North Carolina today. So we're in the central part of the state. This area here was safe from the hurricane, but thanks for spreading the links, and the vetted charities. Western North Carolina as well could use tons of help in addition to Florida and many other places.
Yeah.
So, but all safe and sound here.
That's really good to hear that you're okay and that your loved ones are okay. You shared a link with us a little earlier before the show started. And I know that this is something that obviously kind of speaks to more of that, like you said, the North Carolina community. Can you tell us a little bit about what is included there? Like, give us the scoop.
Yeah, I think that one particularly, that's where my sister, she used to live in Nashville for years and years, went to UNCA, and she's now made her way out west, but still has ties to the community. And so that's sort of like her local, one link was a clearinghouse that was really busy, and the other was just how to donate to Western North Carolina. That's sort of like the kind of accepted charities that would do the most benefit. One would be the American Red Cross of North Carolina, obviously very vetted charity, so by all means. But there's some more niche, more local type things in there. She's a website designer, so she runs a site for one of the charities in there, one of the many ones. I kind of forget which one. So she's kind of one of the more local people on the ground. My alma mater, App State, for my undergrad is in Boone, North Carolina. They're also devastated. So I think this is more of a Asheville focused kind of charity, but all of Western North Carolina, Northwest, South Carolina, all kinds of places are all hurting and need help. And I was sharing earlier in the green room, the cool thing here, because I didn't have a charity that popped off, it was on my head at first. Here in the Research Triangle Park here, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, like my dentist, the communities, every coffee shop, every brewery, everything is like, here's our donation box, get it in here. The football games are happening, the Durham Bulls, like everyone is just like, here's donations. And you just see semi trucks just headed out west, almost by the minute. So everyone is really trying to help. It's a bit chaotic, right now, but it's just like, just send stuff out. So yeah, but the charities would be great as well. People really need the help.
Yeah, for sure. I was amazed at how proactive it seems the efforts were immediately after or following the storm. If you check out that link, there's a gentleman that flies a helicopter who has like a YouTube channel, who I believe, Bryce, I didn't even realize he was a NASCAR driver. Just showed up on
former.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of these like non-commercial helicopter pilots basically pulled together and were going out to save people and drop resources to people in need. So it's really amazing to see the efforts there. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it
Yeah, yeah.
going.
Reminds me of the MSP community. It's scrappy. It's just like, how
Yes.
can I help? And let's just get it done. It's not like let's wait for some command to come down and like do something. Like how can we help? Let's do it.
Love it.
Yeah, and that ties in perfectly to our next guest that we're going to have on here in a minute that Will's going to be doing the interview with. So, but Bryce, we want to talk about some of the stuff that you've been up to over at Axient. So you are fresh off of the MSP Exchange Summit yesterday, correct?
Yeah, MSP Experience Summit, and not to interrupt you, but I should mention now right? I can speak as a colleague at this point, and so the acquisition has gone through, and
you're right. You're right.
So yeah. Last time I saw you, I think was at ChannelCon, face to face, and now virtually, and that time we weren't official colleagues, and now we are. We're still using the Axient brand for some time. I'm not sure when or if that's ever going to change. So all of our events still, you can find our websites there. You can find our events. We label our community MSP Experience, and then we just had our summit, which is our once in a year partner conference. We had close to 500 live attendees for that virtual event, and I can give a couple takeaways if people are interested, kind of what we covered yesterday.
Sure. Yeah, give us the scoop.
Great. So we had a keynote. We had the roadmap. The roadmap's looking as strong as ever. So the future roadmap, didn't get affected by the acquisition or the integration. In fact, we kind of have the roadmap as stated and approved, and then some, because now we're going to have even more horsepower to go and do better ConnectWise integrations. There's already a great ASIO one, but like just more and more, and the teams have been meeting together, even on site in Tampa, I've heard, and just figure out more ways to do that. So roadmap is looking great. Rod really set the vision with the keynote. And then we got into partner panels and breakout sessions and all kinds of tracks. And the theme was, how to master disaster recovery in a hybrid cloud world. And the interesting thing about that is this idea of the hybrid cloud of like, it's not one or the other. And what I loved about the comments, my takeaway was we'd prompt people, give some kind of spicy takes or kind of some semi-divisive kind of questions. And there was not one answer, which is a great thing. And I'll tell you why in a second. But it was just like, I hate Azure. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's too expensive. Or if you're not using it, you're absolutely crazy because it's so efficient. And why you mess around with hardware and cables and switches and all this kind of stuff. And so my point being was like, we had all this great conversation. It was a really good critical mass of folks in the comments and just answering each other and asking questions. We're doing polls and stuff. And so to me, it's like, by your geo, by your business type, by the verticals you're serving, your expertise, the positioning that your MSP and your business is for what you want to do, there's no one single answer. If it was that easy, SMBs could just get an ebook, download some stuff, put everything in Azure, call it a day, and then they wouldn't need you, right? So it's actually good that there's not one, playbook for this stuff. There's not one magic bullet for these things. There's a lot of debate. And so the idea of the hybrid cloud is like, flexibility has never been more important. We talk about it all the time, but that's what Axient is all about, giving you the flexibility with pooled storage and flat pricing that's consistent, that's easy. You can deploy the licenses online. You can do it on-prem. You can have the appliance. You can have the local cache. You can do whatever you want. It's the same price. It doesn't matter. And then we have cloud and then 365 backups and all this kind of stuff. So flexibility, do things the way you want to do it, and be able to kind of harness the opportunity with this hybrid cloud world that we're in.
That's really neat. And you mentioned that, so Rod did the kickoff for the summit that you guys had.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention that I know he's taking more of he's going to be holding an integral role in bringing the Skykick and Axient teams together into ConnectWise. And so more to come on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to ask you, leading up to IT Nation Connect, is there anything that you can tell us or give us maybe like, some things that you're excited about, some things that you're planning? Do you have some breakout sessions that are happening? What's going on?
Yes, and yes. Yeah, exactly, Becky. So we're going to extend this theme a little bit. We're going to continue to harp on the hybrid cloud thing. And so now it's sort of this idea of innovation with data protection. And so to your point, now with the Skykick integration, we'll have more, even a broader, more unified story around what is so great about the tech that we have, is so great about the teams and levels of support, and what's so great about the integration with ConnectWise, things like co-managed backup, which was an offering to the ConnectWise customers of Axient before, but now is going to be an offering to everybody all over the place, potentially. So the co-managed backup will be big. Axient has for quarters and years been huge sponsors of Evolve, Secure, Connect, all kinds of things. And so we were going to have a booth anyway. We're going to present anyway. The acquisition just makes it even easier and better. And so we're going to have the normal breakout session we're going to have anyway. We're leaning towards an Azure theme on that one. We're going to have a data protection group breakout, it sounds like. And then you may even see some folks on stage early in the day on the first day, maybe. I don't want to ruin any surprises here. And so we've got a lot going on. We have the booth. We'll have all our SEs, reps, people that you know and love from years and years and years of us showing up at these events. And I'll be there as well. So we'll love to see you.
Okay, great. All right. So folks, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure that you do now, because you do not want to miss it. There's going to be a lot of great stuff going on and coming from Axient at IT Nation Connect. And I've got to ask you one last question. Oh, good. You're back,
sure.
Will.
Hey,
Oh, Will, you.
The ducks got him.
Yeah, the ducks.
The duck got me. It was. Absolutely.
All right. Well, good way to pivot. You look great. You sound great. So hopefully that keeps working for the rest of the segment. Bryce, one more question for you, man.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, are you a Tony Hawk fan?
I sure am. I won a supermarket sweepstakes one time. Got my first skateboard when I was like 8, and that I think it was before I knew who Tony Hawk was. That was more like a middle school video game thing for me. But I was an amateur boarder. I'm not setting foot near one of those things. I have 3 friends with ACL injuries at my age, and so I'm not going to do it. But I'll let him do it. Absolutely a huge fan of Tony Hawk.
That's so funny. I have a 5-year-old who I'm trying to teach how to skateboard right now, and it's so difficult. And then he's telling me to get on the skateboard, and I'm like you. I'm like, hey, I'm 40 years old. I'm not trying to tear anything. Okay,
right.
I'm just trying to stay alive.
A piece of plywood, a couple bricks, just go and you'll figure it out. You can't really ease yourself into boarding, I feel like.
True story. Well, thanks for joining us on the Friday Field Report.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here. Yeah. Great to be with you guys.
Yeah,
cool.
Great. Well, we'll see you at IT Nation Connect.
I'll see you soon. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was fun. So I'm excited about our next guest as well. So in the theme that we've been talking about, kind of go-giving, so one of our partners, my tech partners, has been doing a lot with their own charity and really trying to drive that. And I wanted to just kind of bring them both on and chat with them. So let's go ahead and bring out Nate and Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to the Friday Field Report.
Thanks.
Yeah, loving it. I feel like I'm left out because I didn't sit outside because the garbage truck was going by and I didn't want to have the background noise. So like I'm at my virtual background here. But yeah, thanks for having us.
I love it. Never a dull moment, right? So Nate, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your respective roles at MyTech.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
All right. So yeah, I work with marketing here at MyTech. I've been with the company for almost 8 years now. And it's been really exciting as the landscape has really changed in the last 8 years, as you know, with the pandemic and everything, and more video and AI and everything going on. We're definitely on our toes every day just to, keep people connected with what we're doing and helping just to make the MSP space more fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of working with Stephanie. For us, we're the two halves of sales and marketing, right? As far as trying to make sure that what we communicate is what we actually sell, and then I try and work with the service team on what we sell, we actually deliver. So that's been a fun part of our role as things have changed over the years, and a big part of that's been engaging with the community too, the IT Nation community. Stephanie's participated in that. I participated in that. We have lots of our team who's been part of that, and that's been part of how we've been connected and why we're even here today. So thanks for having us.
I love that. No, I'm so glad that you guys mentioned that. Like, IT Nation's awesome. So, as far as ConnectWise partners, you guys have been partners for quite a while. Tell us a little bit about what does that partnership with us look like from your side?
Oh wow! I mean, if we go, we actually started, strangely enough, and I didn't even connect these dots until you just asked this question. But we actually started with the HTG peer groups and ConnectWise within weeks of each other. It was August, September of 2006 when we started with HTG and ConnectWise. I remember the transition, and so obviously that was HTG before it became the Evolve groups as it is today. But we've participated quarter over quarter. I mean, it's made all the difference in our business as far as participating in that peer group. And then even and Connect is the Connect event is one of my absolute favorites. And there's my wife trying to wrangle my toddler behind me here.
I love it.
The Connect event has been one of our favorite events to go to because it's just of all the content that's there. But participating in the peer groups and that community it's really made all the difference in our business. And it's one of the reasons why, as we've been working on as you mentioned earlier, as we've been working on our grant, we believe that the MSP space is really in a prime position because of the work we do with other small businesses, but in particular nonprofits in our respective communities, that we're in a really great place to have a big impact when we look at the community as a whole.
That is awesome. So, I'm glad you mentioned your grant. Let's kind of touch, to double click into that. We've kind of really had a recurring thing about giving back to on the show. And I want to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing with the grant and really talk through it. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what your grant is and the evolution of it?
Take it away, Stephanie.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, ever since MyTech started, giving back has just been part of our mission and just something that we want to do. And but over the last probably 6 or 7 years, it's really evolved into, at first we were just discounting services or donating to specific nonprofits in the community. But we thought, what's a way that we can get more exposure to other nonprofits and just make a bigger impact? So that's where the grant kind of was born out of. And so this is an opportunity that every branch, because we're in 3 locations right now, every 3 years we put out a call for nonprofits to say, like, hey, we're looking for a nonprofit that we want to donate our services to for 3 years. This is amazing. All managed services, project services. So we receive a ton of applications. It's probably one of the hardest days to be a judge and a facilitator because you're reading such amazing stories about the work that all of these nonprofits do, nonprofits that we would probably never had any visibility into in the past. And I think one of our judges said it's just emotionally draining by the end of the day because you want to give it to everybody. And so, then we choose a nonprofit to donate those services to for 3 years. And we run that about every 3 years in each branch. And we're really excited because over the last several years, we've had a lot of other for-profit businesses want to come along on the journey. So we just launched our grant in the Minnesota location last week. And we have, I think, 15 additional grants from for-profit businesses that are jumping in and helping and wanting to do the same thing. So it just keeps growing every time we do it, and we're really excited about it.
I love that so much. That's awesome. So, as you guys are expanding, I mean, if someone who is, listening wants to be like, hey, that's a really awesome idea, I want to join them and help out and do this thing. How can they get involved? How can they find out more?
So well, this is one of the things why I appreciate, just the community. And I was talking with Greg Lawley earlier this year. In fact, he participated when we did our grant in Colorado earlier this year, and he got to witness it firsthand. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of our inviting him to participate was what's a way where we might be able to extend this to the IT Nation community in particular? And so, yeah, I would say just reach out. You can reach out on LinkedIn, because Stephanie and I are both on there, or happy to share contact information. But ultimately, what we would love to see is, and we have this playbook, right, where we've learned a lot of lessons. There's a lot, we haven't got everything figured out by any means, but we definitely have a lot of details figured out. And we'd love to be able to see one or more MSPs in every major market or every community in the country, even globally, because the IT Nation isn't just in the U.S. It's extends around the world, to be able to donate, to figure out a way to donate some services locally. Now, whether we're participating in or not, but we'd happily share, and we'd love to pick a couple, 2 or 3 maybe, to walk alongside in the next year. If anyone in their game and want to raise their hand and say, hey, we'd love to try and do that, so that we can share what we've learned, so that way you're not just trying to have to reinvent the wheel as you go along. So yeah, that's what I would say. Reach out. We'd love to have people do that. And just a couple pieces of trivia. I did some research on this, and in the US, if every for-profit business donated a time, service, money to a nonprofit, every nonprofit in the country would have 8 to 12 for-profit businesses donating services or money to them. So it's an 8 to 12x ratio. And so like just one, like now we're donating to several, but like look, if each one picked one, I think the for-profit business could have just a massive impact on the nonprofit community. And so we're just trying to find a way to do that and use our respective skills and expertise versus we're good at what we do, hopefully, and we want to help them be better at what they do by making sure their infrastructure and their technology works for them.
That's fantastic. And if you're an MSP and you're listening and you want to get involved, reach out to Stephanie and Nate. Like, it's a great way for you to get a jump start. So thank you guys so much.
I was gonna say too, I think they dropped the link in the chat there too. It's mytech.com/grant. There's a lot of information there too. So like feel free to look through that. Like even to Nate was saying, we've learned a lot of lessons even in how we approach it and actually creating an agreement so that you have, executive participation on both sides so that we make sure this is successful on both sides. So there's all that information is in that link as well too, if you want to check that out.
Oh, that's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie. Like that's, again, giving back is something that I think we could all get better at. And you guys are really paving the way in that. So thank you so much for joining us today to talk about the awesome work you guys are doing.
I was going to say too, I think that it sounds like you're also helping to shorten the learning curve for other MSPs that want to get involved, right? Because you've already done this and you've walked the walk. So that's also invaluable too, to learn from others' experiences.
And we'll also, both of us will be at IT Nation Connect in November. And so people there, we'd happily see them, chat and grab us, and we'd love to connect as well.
I'd love to come back in 2025 and hear that somebody ran it and then hear what worked for them too to help us, right? Because that's the whole part of the community is like, let's share what worked and what didn't and make it better together. So
I love that.
That's the whole essence of the community anyways, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's just bringing it to the nonprofit world as well, which I think is really cool. Awesome.
I love it.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
okay. So one more question for you guys. I had to ask Bryce, so I have to ask you, Tony Hawk fans here? Anybody? I didn't play the video games. I
didn't play the video games. I'm pretty sure I had a Tony Hawk skateboard back in the day, but I was never very good at it. So like that was not my world. I wished I was good at it, but I just wasn't. So, but yeah, I'm definitely a Tony Hawk fan. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, I would agree with. I think there was a skate park that got built like when I was in middle school, like down at the park, and I think I ventured down there once and was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me," but kudos to everybody else. So.
It's hard to skateboard in a bubble, like you know what I mean. Like, that's the only way I think I would work for me is like.
Well, you can still bring your grunge wear, to participate in the theme and the essence of Tony Hawk.
That's the nostalgia of it. It'll be amazing.
It will be great.
Love it. All right. Well, I think we're out of time, aren't we, Vicky?
Yeah, I think we are. That went fast. It always goes fast, but this is great feedback. And we really appreciate you both coming on the show with us today. And Bryce, I know you had to hop, but these are always the experiences that we love to share on the ConnectWise Friday Field Report. For everybody that's listening in, if you have any suggestions or things that you want to hear about that's happening within the ConnectWise ecosystem, we would love to hear from you. So please make sure to reach out to Will and I on LinkedIn, via email if you have our emails, and we'll make sure that we get that content incorporated into the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again. We'll see everybody back here on the Friday Field Report on October 18th. And until next time, stay safe out there and have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.